Earth is 12,742 kilometers in diameter, and this is a tiny planet. It's made by using a special camera that shoots 360-degree video to wrap it into a planet. This tiny planet has a diameter of 12 meters, and for the next 24 hours, me and my 4 friends are going to survive confined to only this planet. At 8 AM we started, and we went into this expecting a survival challenge, but what we didn't realize is that this planet had some of the harshest conditions that any of us have ever been exposed to before. We got here, and the first thing we realized was going to be a problem was the 60km/h plus winds. For reference, this is what that looks like. You just can't see it on a beach. But when combined with tiny granules of sand, it's pretty rough. It became pretty clear that the first thing we needed to do was to build a shelter. The problem is, we didn't come prepared. Here's what we've got to work with. This is our supplies. It's everything we should need to survive for the next 24 hours. We've got food, we've got some clothes, and a bit of water. Over here's the edge of the planet, and there's sticks and stuff, hopefully for a fire tonight. This is the ocean, in case we want to go for a swim. So we began devising a plan for the shelter.
We just get 2 long sticks, and then sort of that angled to the ground, so that's pretty good. We've got this stick. We've got 1 stick! No, there's 2 there, Oh, we just need 1 stick!
With this plan, we decided to get started.
As long as it stays up for like a minute. It's gonna be the best night's sleep I've ever got.
We are collecting seaweed as the bedding for our shelter. It's not much at the moment, but it should hopefully by tonight be something. The wind was getting even stronger, so we used a 3rd stick to hold the structure up, and we tied it all together with grass roots. We then put seaweed on top of these roots to form some sort of block from the wind. If you haven't noticed, the heat is getting pretty unbearable while we're working hard on this construction, so everyone had their shirts off, but don't worry, we did have sunscreen on, and after a few hours, it was complete, and I present to you Casa Hausa Homer. That sounded like so it's an elegant 1-bedroom design, provides shade, blocks the wind a bit, and it is a bit smelly, but it's our home. I hope it stays up the whole night.
I'm sure it will. The wind usually dies off during the night. The problem is this sand not being flat. So we're also going to be sleeping on lumps.
This is going to be so hard. This was one of the many things we intended to do in the 24 hours, and it was the most important. So now that it was done, we felt we deserved a break and took a nice, relaxing dip in the ocean. We got thrashed around, but it was a much needed relief from the heat. It's been a pretty exhausting day so far, so we decided to start lunch. With a brand new shelter providing us with shade and wind protection, we began cooking our sausages, and Zach is the designated cook of our group, so he took the reins on this one. Because of our lack of plates, we put everything in the lid of the stove, enjoyed a sandy lunch, and then shed a small bunch of grapes. Apart from 1.5 kilos of Sour Patch Kids that Ethan bought, this was all the food that we had for the challenge. Either way, lunch was done and we moved on to the fire. But something we noticed pretty early on is that there's no sticks or wood on this planet. The only ones we had was the big ones, which we made the decision to use for the shelter. This was a pretty crucial roadblock in our quest to make a fire, so we started a side quest to just dig a really big hole. It was now the midday peak of the sun. We tried to keep digging, but eventually the heat was just unbearable. There was little shade in the teepee, and the UV index is extreme at this point. You see, the UV index is measured on a scale from 1 to 11 plus, where you start to burn at 4, and 11 is considered extremely dangerous. And today, the one day we chose to do this, it was 14. We spent all our time just trying to shelter from the sun, and there wasn't that much we could do with the supplies we had. We covered up as much as we could with our towels, And Ethan is the palest out of all of us, so he buried himself in the sand.
So we've been here since what, 8 o'clock? We've had a nice swim. Now we're just sort of hiding away in the shade. How you feeling, Zach?
I'm feeling good. A bit tired, but it's alright. We'll get through it, I think. We have roughly 16 hours to go. So we're not even halfway through it yet. So.
But we realized we couldn't be sitting around all day, and that's when the boredom hit. But this all came to a halt when I realized that I think I sprained my ankle. I appear to have sprained my ankle in the water with all the waves, and I think the walking on the sand all day has sort of made it worse. Things weren't looking good. My ankle was sprained, Ethan's dying of heat stroke, Ollie is sunburnt, Zach is bored, and Daniel... Actually, I think Daniel's fine, but the rest of us weren't doing so well. But what if it's still windy tonight? That's actually going to be the worst. That's why we're going to dig that hole.
Yeah, we're just huddling on our towels. We could get pissed on, or stabbed, or chloroformed, dragged away, put in a hole, drowned, disappeared.
Oh god. Census. Who wants to stay the night?
I feel like 24 hours on a beach is literally just perfect. Well, yeah. And it's not impressive. So saying that we gave up even earlier, we couldn't even go camp.
Yeah, but we made a sick shelter.
Most of us are sunburnt. My ankle's sprained. It's cold. We don't have any firewood on this planet to make a fire, so yeah, we're calling it. We all enjoyed our time. We failed the 24-hour challenge, but we made some pretty fun memories, and that's more important. We got some pizza, and we agreed that we'd give this challenge another try soon. This entire video is filmed on Insta360 cameras, and I'm giving away 3 of these cameras plus a whole heap of other things in a giveaway on the 20th, so if you're interested in joining this, it's completely free. The link is down below.